If you're on SNAP EBT, listen up. I have 3 important updates for January 2025. Let's jump right into it. There are 10 big changes coming to food stamps as of January 2025. And then I have 7 Social Security changes that are also coming up that you need to be aware of. And I want you to stay till the end of this video because I have tips and techniques to get more food stamps each month. A lot of you have been complaining about how much you're getting in food stamp that is not enough to buy the food that you need to live. And so I've done the research. I'm going to give you some techniques on how you can get more food stamp benefits. Now, if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button so that more people get to see this critical information. Also, I want to know where you are listening to this video from. Where are you watching from? Give us your city and state in the comment section below. We'd like to acknowledge our viewers. So let's get started. So let's talk about the 10 changes that are coming to food stamps in 2025. The first one is the cost of living adjustment. Now, this went into effect in October 2024. It's going to run all the way through September 2025. And unfortunately, it was not a lot of money. So for a family of 4, you only got about maybe a $2 increase in your benefits from $973 to $975. And a family in the same family of 4 in Alaska, depending on where you live, you go 1,258 to 1,953. In the U.S. Virgin Islands, 1,254. In Guam, 1,437. And Hawaii, actually, Hawaii benefits went down for a family of 4 to 1,723. Here is the full list and is by household size. If you're an individual applying for food stamps, the maximum benefit is $292. If you're a family of 2, 536. A family of 4, 975. As I've already mentioned, a family of 6, $1,390, and so forth and so on. As I said, if you're a family of 1, you only got a $1 increase. That is really, really sad considering how much food prices have gone up and stayed up. For a lot of people, food is expensive, and the maximum benefit you can get for one person if you're on food stamps is $292, and it went up by $1. And if you're a family of 4, it went up by $2. Now I'm going to give you techniques on how you can get more food stamps. So stay tuned till the end of this video. Here is the complete table. As you can see, there are different ranges for Alaska and Hawaii because cost of living is higher there. So their maximum benefit is much higher. Now, one of the misconceptions or one of the big things that people don't understand is how are food stamps calculated? And I'll give you the simple formula according to the USDA. So basically, they take your gross income, how much money you're making per household, and then they take allowable deductions out of it, and then they arrive at your net income. Then once they get your net income, they're going to multiply it by 0.3 or 30%. Why is that 0.3 important? Because that is what the government estimates that if you're on low income, you should be spending on food. And so let's say in this example, your net income is $1,056. 0.3 of that is $317. Now they're going to take that $317 and then they will subtract it for the maximum benefit for your household size. So in this case, a household of 4. So they will take 317 from the 975, which is the maximum benefit that a household of 4 can get in food stamps. The balance becomes how much you're eligible for in food stamps. So $658 is what this household will get in benefits. They don't get the 975. So a lot of people who apply by themselves or a household of 2 run into this situation because when you take that 0.3% of your net income from the maximum that your household can get, there is nothing left. And that's why you get the minimum benefit. So let's go. And so even though your net income qualified, when they subtract how much you should be spending on food from the maximum your household can get in food stamps, not much is left. And so if it's below $23, then you get the $23 as the minimum benefit. The gross income is also going up. A family of 4 is going to have to make less than $3,380 to qualify. A single person, $1,632. A family of 2, $2,215. A family of 6, $4,546. And of course, there are different income limits for Alaska and Hawaii from the lower 48 states and DC. Then your net income is your gross income minus allowable expenses. Is supposed to be 100% of the federal poverty level. For a single person is 1,255. For a family of 4 is 2,600. For a family of 6 is $3,497. But that amount is higher for households with seniors or people with a disability. So for a senior household or a household with somebody that is disabled, is 2,071 for one person applying for food stamps and 2,811 for 2 people. So if you think about it, the income limit is higher for senior household or household with people with disability. So it means that more people who are in this category are eligible for food stamps. However, that higher income limit also works against you because your net income tends to be higher. And then when they subtract the 0.3%, how much you're supposed to be spending on food, and then they take that 0.3 amount from the maximum benefit you're supposed to get for your household size, there is not much left. That's why a lot of you end up getting the minimum benefit. I'm going to explain techniques and tips on how you can get more deductions and make sure all your income is counted and be able to get additional benefits. Stay tuned. Another change that's happening is that the asset limit is going up. For everybody else, is $3,000. For a household with a senior or somebody on disability, is $4,500. So there's more income generosity in terms of the income limit for seniors, in terms of the asset limit, but then then they get impacted when it comes to the actual calculation for how much you can get in benefit. The minimum benefit remains the same for a second year in a row at $23, which is disappointing because, as I mentioned, food prices have gone up and stayed up. Deductions are also going up. The standard shelter deduction, the homeless shelter deduction is $190 across the board, and it's $204 for the standard deductions for households of 1 to 3. And here is the entire table of deductions for Hawaii, Guam, Virgin Islands, and Alaska. You can see they have different levels of standard deductions, which are higher in some cases and lower in the case of the US Virgin Islands. Here are more deductions. Shelter deductions, the maximum is $712 for the excess shelter deduction, and then the homeless shelter deduction, which I've already talked about. Now let's go to the 6th change, work requirements. Yes, one of the misconceptions is that you don't have to work to get food stamps, which is not true. A lot of people think that people on food stamps don't work. That's actually not true. You have to work. If you're an able-bodied adult and can work, you have to work. And this is a requirement. Otherwise, you cannot get food stamps. You can only get food stamps for 3 months in a 3-year period if you don't meet the work requirement. The only people that are exempted from the work requirement are children, seniors, veterans, individuals experiencing homelessness, pregnant women, people who are exempt for physical or mental illness, and individuals aged 24 or younger and in foster care on their 18th birthday. So what is the work requirement? If you're between the ages of 16 and 59, you have to work, and you cannot refuse work or be in an approved SNAP employment training program to continue to get food stamps. And certain exemptions apply, but they are very, very, very strict. Additionally, if you're an able-bodied adult without dependents, you have additional work requirements if you're between ages 18 and 54. to get food stamps for more than 3 months in 3 years, a 3-year time frame, you have to meet the work requirements. And there are a few exceptions, but there are very few. Another change that is coming is that the summer EBT is coming back. This is a program that started in 2024. It's going to be a permanent program, and more states are going to be added. So the summer EBT is a new program by the USDA. It helps kids that are on the school lunch and school breakfast program get nutrition while they are on summer break. They benefit. It really benefits a lot of kids. 29 million kids. They get a summer EBT card. $40 a month per kid for the 3 months, so $120 per child over the summer months. It's an amazing program, and I think all states should participate. I think there's now 35 states. Some states opted out. I don't understand why, but more states are going to join. And my hope is that all 50 states should join. This is a no-brainer. 29 million kids can be helped afford nutrition. If they cannot, if the kids need breakfast and lunch during school time, why would we not want to give them help during the summer months? It's the same conditions. They're facing the same situation at home. It doesn't mean that something changes when it's the summer. Maybe that's actually worse. So why not continue to give them opportunity to be able to have nutrition during the summer? So I don't understand the states that opt out of this program. And then another thing that's coming is that food stamp fraud is growing, and states are issuing chip-based EBT cards to combat that. California is one of the states leading the charge. So you're going to be getting a new EBT card because it's a safer card and allows or helps prevent thieves from skimming your card and stealing your benefits. And in the news, there's so many stories out there about food stamps being stolen. That you can see one from Georgia during Thanksgiving, where a whole bunch of people got their food stamps stolen during Thanksgiving, which is a horrible, horrible thing. And it's all over the place. Minnesota, as you can see, Alabama got like $5 million stolen in recent months alone. New York City sending a warning to seniors to pay attention because scams are growing and people are targeting seniors for their EBT cards. South Carolina, woman accused of food stamps fraud. So the government is working hard to try to prosecute people who are doing this, and so forth and so on. Number 9, the harvest box is making a comeback. President Trump floated this idea back when he was in office to turn food stamps into a harvest box idea. This is a terrible idea. So if you don't know what this is about, basically they will replace your food stamps with a government box. Imagine like the government sending you canned meat, canned cheese, um, all these canned foods, canned vegetables, and you don't have the ability to go use your EBT card to buy your own food. The government will send you a box of things they think you should be eating. Why? Because a lot of people think that people on food stamps are wasting their food stamps on things they shouldn't be buying. And so they want the government to send you food that they think you should be eating. So Trump floated this idea back when he was in office, and now there's stories coming out that they want to do it again. They really want to push this. So I want to hear from you. What do you think of this idea? You know, they want to send you government boxes every month in place of you actually going to the grocery store to buy food for yourself. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of misconception that people on food stamps are buying more junk food than the regular population. That's not true. There's been research that have shown that the spending habits, the grocery spending habits of food stamps recipients is no different than the regular population. So to target food stamps recipients and say that they should not use their food stamps for certain kinds of food, or people think that food stamp recipients are using their food stamps to buy lobster and shrimp and steak, and they're living well. Meanwhile, the average food stamp benefit is about, for a single individual, it's about $150, sometimes even less. In some states, it's $120. Who is buying lobster on $120 food stamps a month? That is like, you're getting $4 a day. Nobody's buying lobster with that. So there's all this misconception. I mean, is there fraud in food stamps? There is, just like any other program. There's some fraud, but it's very minimum. The USDA have come out and said there's only 1% of fraud in food stamps, which is remarkable, and it's actually, in terms of comparing to all government programs, it actually has the least amount of fraud. But that doesn't stop people from stereotyping food stamps recipients and saying that they should be limited. And you see, I have a story coming up where a governor is asking the government to ban all junk food. And I'm not saying that that is not a good idea, that people should eat healthy, but we cannot dictate what people eat, because people have different allergies and different sensitivities to food. So to say that the government is just going to ship you some low quality food, because the government is not going to pick the healthiest food, even if they get the chance to pick the food, they're going to buy from the lowest common denominator, buy the cheapest food, and ship it to you in some very, very horrible conditions. So I think it's a terrible idea, and Trump wants to bring it back. So stay tuned. I'll report the news as I see it. So there's a bill. The reason why the farm bill hasn't been approved is because there's been political fights between Democrats and Republicans who want to change food stamps and take $30 billion out of the food stamp program for that. So here are some of the changes that is being proposed. The governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, has written a letter to the U.S. Department of Agriculture requesting new limitation of SNAP purchases. The request aims to restrict junk food purchases with federal food assistance benefit. SNAP benefit are administered nationwide to low-income households that will otherwise struggle to purchase groceries at participating retailers. In 2023, 8.1% of all Arkansas residents were receiving SNAP benefits, according to the USDA. I think that number is actually higher. Currently, 23% of the $25 billion of all SNAP purchases are spent on junk food. So 23%, according to her, the governor. This includes soda and healthy snacks, candy, and desserts. The governor links these programs to poor health and the following health condition: obesity, diabetes, heart disease, hypertension. I am not saying that this is not true. What I'm saying is that it's no different from the general population. So why should they put restrictions on SNAP recipients? Is it because they're getting government benefits so they don't deserve to pick the food that they want? Meanwhile, when somebody wants to ban soda in a state, we're all up in arms because we want to be able to buy whatever we want. So why is it any different from SNAP recipients? I'm just saying, why are SNAP beneficiaries being targeted? Is it because of the stigma that because they're getting government benefits, we get to decide what they get to eat? You know, and it doesn't. People who are on food stamps are people who are working. Majority of people on food stamps are working. It's just that they cannot afford how expensive food has become, and so they need help. And I don't think that they should be necessarily punished for that. Her proposed changes, basically, it's restricted to healthier food options. She's stating that they can change the program to restrict it to the items that you see on the screen. Several organizations have concerns when it comes to SNAP reform, including the Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families, concerns about food desert impacts, need for flexibility in food choices, rural accessibility issues, and the Agricultural Council supports for healthier options, focus on Arkansas grown products, and connecting to upcoming farm bill discusses all these issues. So what's next? SNAP waivers are in effect for several states where COVID was widely a reason to shorten the application process. And now that is back in the news because they want to put more restrictions on people that are getting food stamps. So what do you think? What do you think a potential cost to food stamps? I know I've gone on a good amount of rants about that. So I want to hear from you and your thoughts. Don't get me wrong. I think healthy food is essential for good health. I think that everybody should strive for that, but not everybody can have access to healthy food or can afford even to buy healthy food, because SNAP benefit amounts are not that much. And so when you have a limited amount of income and then you have to eat and feed your family, sometimes you are buying what is in front of you that you can afford and not necessarily what is the healthier, because you can't afford healthy food. And that is a fact. If the government wants people to afford healthy food, I think SNAP benefits should be increased significantly so that they can make the choices. Because I think when people are given the opportunity and access and affordability, they will make the right choice, or they will make the choice that they consider is healthy. Let's talk about Social Security. Social Security COLA went up and a lot of seniors are not happy. Let's talk about it. Social Security COLA is 2.5% for 2025. Compared to the last few years, that's the lowest COLA in about 4 years. So why is it so low? Well, historically, COLA is about 2%, 1.5%. So 2.5 is not just that different from what happened before. The difference is that this time around, food prices have gone up and stayed up. So people were expecting a higher COLA, but they didn't get it. But a big part of the problem is how COLA is calculated. And so there is a movement in Congress to try to change that. But because Congress is about to ship out of town at the end of this Congress, it doesn't look like the two proposals that have been put forward, the 2023 Fair COLA for Seniors Act and the Social Security Expansion Act, will be passed by Congress. I really, really doubt it that it will be done until January the 20th. So, do you like what you hear so far? Do you like the video? Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I really appreciate your support, and I have more to share with you. Here are the 7 changes that are coming to Social Security in 2025 that's going to affect the 74 million people on Social Security and disability benefits. Your Social Security benefits are going up by $49 on average, from $1,927 to $1,976. If you're a couple, your benefits are going up by $75, from $3,014 to $3,089. If you're on SSDI, your average benefit is $1,580, up by $38. And if you're on SSI, you got a $24 raise, from $943 to $967. And if you're a couple on SSI, you got a $35 raise, from $1,415 to $1,450. Now, if you're retiring in 2025 and it's your full retirement age, the maximum benefit you can get is $4,018, up from $3,088. That is the maximum benefit you can get at full retirement age. It means that you've contributed the maximum into the system. Next, if you are paying Social Security taxes, every year that is adjusted on how much money you can make and still pay Social Security taxes, that is going up because COLA has gone up. It's going from 168,600 to 176,100. And then if you're on disability, the substantial gainful activity for non-blind is going up from 1,550 to 1,620. If you're blind, it's 2,590, and it's increasing to $2,700 next year. A lot is happening under Medicare. Medicare Part B premium is going up to $185 a month. A lot of seniors are complaining that the COLA increase they got in Social Security is taken up by the Medicare premium increase, Medicare Part B, and so they ended up netting nothing. And so even the cost of living, the little one they got, the $49, is all eaten up by the Medicare Part B premium. The sick change is that if you are working and you're on Social Security before your full retirement age, you have to know about the earnings test. If you make more than $23,400 in 2025, for every $2 you go above that, you're going to lose $1 in benefit. However, if 2025 is your full retirement age year, then you can make up to $60,160 and not lose anything. But if you go above that, for every $3, you lose $1. But if 2025 is your full retirement year, once you hit that, then you can make as much as you want and you will not lose any of your benefits due to work. The seventh change is that the full retirement age is going up by another 2 months. So if you're born in 1959, your full retirement age is 66 years and 10 months. And next year, 2026, or the following year, is going to go up again by another 2 months to 67. And now, as part of a way to save Social Security from running out of money, where in 2035, the Social Security Trust Fund is going to run out of money, so they can only pay you 80% of what you're eligible for. They are thinking of increasing the retirement age again to age 70 from 65. Why? Because they think people are living longer. They need to do something about the Social Security retirement fund. Otherwise, there's a shortfall and there's going to be trouble ahead. Congress has to do something. And one of the ideas is to cut benefits or increase the retirement age. Now, let's talk about SNAP benefits. I promise you, I'm going to give you some tips and techniques on how you can get more money. And the reason is that people are getting the minimum benefit and are frustrated and don't understand why they are only getting $23 in benefits. Well, there's a reason why. So let's look into it. So basically, recent changes make it easier for seniors 60 plus to qualify. Higher income limits than before. Medical expenses can be deducted. There's a simpler application process. So if you're a single senior, your income limit is $2,071 compared to the regular population of 1,632. Again, if you're a senior and you're a couple applying, your income limit is $2,811 versus the regular population, which is $2,215. So as you can see here, if you're not a senior, you have a lower income limit. And if you're a senior, you have a higher income limit. So that's one of the changes that have been made that makes a lot of seniors eligible, or people on disability eligible for more benefits. And then the asset limit is also up. It's $4,500. Actually, it should say $4,500 versus everybody else is $3,000. So more seniors are eligible because the income limit is more generous. The asset limit is also more generous. So why are they getting $23? Well, it's because deductions. A lot of seniors are not submitting deductions for medical expenses, doctor visits, medical equipment, health insurance premiums, and there's a lot of other deductions that you can take. Your utility expenses, your housing costs, everything. So basically, you need to track everything and bring it to your food stamps caseworker, or they're going to just take the regular standard deductions. And in some states, there are standard utility deductions that they will take if you cannot bring your own receipts and everything to show how much you're spending on these things. So if you're unhappy with your food stamps, here's what you can do. You can request a review. You can go to your caseworker and file for a review. Like, hey, I don't think I'm getting what I deserve or what I'm eligible for. Can you look at my application? Here are all my expenses for the month, documented with evidence, and let them review it. And I have had people come back and tell me they did that and they got double. They went from $23 to $50. They went to $23 to $80. And that is a big jump. So you could be getting more food stamps. Just have it reviewed. And if you got rejected or you got an amount that you didn't think you deserved or were eligible for, you can file an appeal within 90 days of receiving the decision for your benefits. You can appeal and they will review your case and look at what can be done. So you can get help. If you are not sure how to go about getting your food stamps application review, you can get help. And there are a lot of community organizations that can help you apply for food stamps. But here's the thing. Before you go meet with them, get your medical expenses together, get your housing costs together, your rent, your property taxes, your utilities, get your dependent care if you have any. If you're caring for any dependents, get those expenses and go to the application with all that. Gather your recent utility bills, your receipts, and request a case review and ensure that all deductions are properly documented. You can contact your local SNAP agency or senior centers or nonprofits. There are a lot of nonprofits like, you know, area centers on aging that help seniors get benefits. You can also contact your local food banks, your local legal aid offices. All of those organizations can help you have your food stamps reviewed to make sure that you're getting what you deserve. And then there are other programs that you should be taking advantage of. The Senior Farmers Nutrition Program is one of them. If you qualify based on your income, you can get food, a voucher to be able to go buy fresh fruits and vegetables and other things with it. So that's a program you can take advantage of even now, regardless of what you're getting in food stamps. Another program is the monthly commodity supplemental food program. This is actually a box of food that comes from the government every month, and it's supposed to help seniors help with combat food insecurity. So if you qualify based on your income, you can apply for this and receive a box every single month. And then there's another program called the Double Up Food Box. It's has about 900 locations across the country, and for every $20 you spend in your food stamps to buy fresh produce, you get $20 more produce. So it doubles your food stamps purchasing power. So look into it. Go to doubleupamerica.org and search your state and local area to see there are 900 locations across the country. I'm sure there's one not too far from you. So, what do you think of these ideas to help you get more food stamps? And also the additional programs that are introduced to help you manage and get more food on the table. Let me know in the comments what you are going to do, if anything, to get more food stamps or get your case reviewed or take advantage of the 3 programs that I just mentioned to help you get more food on the table. Let me know what you've been watching this video from, and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We appreciate your support. And until I see you in the next video, I've also been doing live videos recently. So until I see you on a future live video or I see you on my next video, thank you for watching.